welcome to Hit another time from Barcelona, Spain. Today we have a very interesting guest. He's from Finland and his name is Jussi Luhtasel from Finland. He has more than 15 years of experience in online businesses with an analytic, business development, and strategic background. He worked in many interesting companies, including Google. He worked in Google for 6 years, and now he's the CEO of RecRight, that it's a recruiting tool with videos. So it helps the recruiting processes with video interviews. So welcome, Jussi.
Thank you, Lorena. Great to be here.
Great, thank you. Well, as you are in Finland and you are working in an IT company that is related with virtual hiring processes, tell us more about RecRight.
Yeah, so we are a video interview platform. So we provide a very easy to use software tool for companies and recruiters to do recruiting interviews over the internet. So main proposition, main product that we have is our recorded interviews, where you as a recruiter are able to pre-record your questions, send them to one or many applicants, and then wait for them, give them a few days, some time to respond back, and then you're able to review them as they come in. We also have a feature called live interviews, which is more of a live video meeting that you might be used to for using other tools as well. There's also a third new feature called a time limited interview, which is more of a one-off timed questionnaire for different kind of interview scenarios. For example, we are now piloting the use of that here in Finland for university applications. So for example, those who are applying for becoming teachers in university, they do go through normally a face-to-face interview process, but now due to the COVID-19 situation, they're always not able to meet with people. So this time-limited interview over internet is something that the universities are trialing with, if they could use that as a tool for screening their candidates.
Okay,
but that's
so you have three options: the video interview that you recorded and send it. You have a live interview also, and with a limited time for the candidate to respond, right?
That is correct. Yes.
Perfect. So you're located right now, the headquarters is in Finland, but you have presence in other countries?
Yes, so the company is originally founded here in Finland and the product is developed here, but we have customers from all over the world, mainly in Europe, but also in Latin America. We have representations in Argentina, but we do have customers all across Europe and also resales partners in various parts of Europe where we have people. The product itself is available and is translated into, of course, English and Finnish, as these are kind of our home markets for Finland. Then we have it in Swedish, Italian, Japanese, and Russian. So you're able to have, and adding new languages is not a very big task. So we can actually, if we want to, and when the need arises, we can add more languages to the core product itself.
Okay, perfect. So you're in Latin America and in Europe.
That's correct.
You have it in many languages, and eventually, it's very easy to translate it to a new language, right?
Yeah. Yes. The core product itself doesn't. It is very straightforward and intuitive to use. Of course, we have some usage tips and so forth, but it is actually quite quick to translate to other users. But currently, our main customer base is if you look, it's mainly Finland, Sweden. Our partners across Europe, and there's some large international companies such as Uber and Netflix who are using it in many markets.
Wow, that's impressive. Great. And what kind have you identified opportunities in this new context related to RecRight? In which way the RecRight tool could help us HR in this new context?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. There's kind of a few angles to this, and we, of course, like I mentioned, we have already explored some even new areas outside recruiting where we have seen opportunities for our tool. Like I mentioned, university applications being one. But coming back to the actual recruiting, helping recruiters to continue finding right people and right talent, even these times. I myself have started as a CEO for RecRight just a month ago, and I've been going through multiple processes during this spring now, where I was, of course, obviously had other options as well on the table, and had a lot of discussions over video interviewing tools, and it is a very good way if you think of, for example, our product. It is a very good way for you to convey a certain quite modern also employer image to your applicants. That's one that we hear from our customers many times, that the applicants really do like this approach, because also it is also quite efficient for them. But I would say the main kind of main use and main reason for usage that we hear from our customers is really the ease of use and the effectiveness of a recorded video interview. So instead of you as a recruiter or you as an applicant spending a lot of time on finding time in calendars and trying to make people's schedules match, which is time consuming and needs to be happening on one-to-one basis, you as a recruiter are able to go through a fair amount of applications and applicants on scale, but still do get much deeper understanding of the person behind the application than just by reading their application and CV or looking at their LinkedIn profile. So we, for example, in my previous job, I was working for the Finnish airline, Finnair. We did recruit, I believe it was 15 IT project managers at the same time a few years ago. And that was the first time I came across the RecRight tool, where Finnair is a client of RecRight. And we did go through over 80 people. We chose 80 people from hundreds of applications who we actually sent the video interview link to, and we were 4 people doing the interviewing. And trying to schedule 80 interviews, face-to-face interviews with 4 people would have been a nightmare, but we were actually able to go through these 80 people and choose I believe we talked face-to-face to 15 or 20. We were able to do this within 1 week. Of time frame from the stage where we chose the people to the stage where we actually had these 15 to 20 candidates we wanted to meet face to face. So it was very efficient, because also one thing we at RecRight do, we try to offer you as recruiters the workflow tools that make you where you can make the evaluation. Once you've seen the answers that people have recorded, you go into our tool and you're able to give your own assessment, own evaluation, and a simple score on the candidate as well, which helps you when there is a larger recruitment and multiple people doing the evaluation.
Okay, so RecRight helps a lot on saving time, right?
Correct. That is one of the key.
One of the key, yeah. You were saying,
yes.
Sorry, you were saying it saves time?
Saves time. You kind of improve your image as an employer. You can build a modern image of an employer. You give the person applying an opportunity to bring out their own persona a bit more, because let's face it, we're a bit different. Some of us are very good at communicating verbally by writing. Some of us are really good at presenting and talking and being in the environment. So you as an applicant and you as a recruiter, you get the kind of a multiple medias you can use to assess the person who is applying. So it can give you a more balanced picture. Of course, some people are better in writing and some people are not natural in front of a camera. But I think, going back to your original question about how does COVID-19 change perhaps this a bit, I guess all of us have become much better in front of computer cameras now over the past 3-4 months.
We had to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's in a way also, I think, to be able to bring your hiring process in the online, right, environment.
Yes, correct.
Because right now it's more efficient. We realize now that we are doing everything remotely, that it's efficient. It's more efficient. It's less time
Mhm.
consuming, and it's in a way better to do it. I don't know, is after COVID, we will do it all the process remotely, but it saves a lot of time to the recruiter team and to the candidate also, because probably
Mhm.
usually the candidates are participating in more than one hiring process.
Yes.
And also the other thing that you said is when you are looking, myself as an HR and a consultant and a recruiter also for many years, when you're looking in a CV, in a resume or LinkedIn profile, it's not, you have an idea, but it's not the same to listen to the candidate and to hear them from themselves explaining a bit of their experience, their background, why they choose something, or about the knowledge is very, very different. And it's very important to understand in another way, because the letters that when you read, there's no tone in
Mhm.
the writing. So when you hear that, and the emphasis and the gesture of the candidate, it changed a lot. Another thing that interests me a lot is that you're able to include a lot of people in the hiring process at the same time. That's very interesting. So how many you can add also the hiring managers, the HR team, and all the people involved at the same time using the same tool, adding their
Mhm.
comments.
Yes, and you could actually, what we actually did once was because we wanted to also convey a company culture, some company culture to the applicants. So what we actually did when we had a hiring manager, but we had few other key people doing the interviewing as well. We did have everybody actually recorded a question, and if I remember right, that was also how it worked when I applied for this position at RecRight. They obviously the first step was using our own tool. There was actually every core team member from the leadership team was asking a question. So you gotta can also bring out more personality of you as a recruiter out to the process, because you can have those kind of questions. But yes, correct. You can then have multiple people also going through the applications and giving their evaluations. And there is we have a scoring system where everybody can give your scores. And like I said, when you have a lot of people in the system, that is actually a very good way to then start stack ranking people and prioritizing applications.
Okay. And another thing I was wondering, that for HR, it's important, and every time it's more important, about the candidate experience. Are you
Mm-hmm.
able to give feedback to the candidate when it's not hired, or when it's not, when he's not part anymore of the hiring process?
Funnily enough, this was something that I was just discussing yesterday with our product development people. That we have seen some of our users, some HR people, doing exactly this. So once you've selected the ones that go further in the process, they've actually recorded the video for the rest, and you're able to do this with our tool. It is not built in directly into the workflow, so there is like no reminder for you as a recruiter to do it. But if you have this idea, yes, the tool can support you to do it. So you can send videos to different applicants and they can come and view it. But we've been actually now thinking about that. We will build it as a feature into the workflow. So you as a recruiter, once you tick the box where you kind of change the candidate status to declined or not progress further, we were thinking about that. Should it actually prompt you a message that, hey, do you want to record a personalized or mass video
Standard,
to,
yes,
yeah,
standard,
exactly, to
yes.
thank every applicant for the application and perhaps give some further insights, because it is, like you said, it is me having been a candidate now for just recently. It's a very good part of the kind of a process that to actually take care of also those people who have been declined.
Okay, so that's an option to do it. It's not
Mm-hmm.
mandatory now, but there's an
Yeah,
option
exactly,
to record
exactly.
a question to the candidate. Hey, you're not in the hiring process anymore, and this is why.
Yeah.
That's very important, because it's very also on the candidate side is very like
Mm-hmm.
humanized, that response that all the candidates are receiving, that it's a template. we received a lot of resumes. Thank you. You're a very good candidate, but you're not selected. And
Exactly,
that's
exactly,
very impersonal for the
exactly.
candidates. Actually, that's the main, I mean, the main argues or the main things that candidates are saying all the time to us, to recruiters,
Mm.
that a lot of companies do not give them feedback. Or this template is not, sometimes it's not enough because it seems very like standard.
Hmm.
We had a lot of resumes, and actually maybe the tools has the same feedback that says the same. We had a lot of applicants. You are very good, but you're not hired, or you're not in the process anymore. So, and have you identified a new use for RecRight in this new context? Do you think that RecRight could be expand in new ways due to this new online environment? And
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's something we're going to be looking at into a lot. Like I mentioned, one of the use areas is those university applications, but also different kind of testing scenarios in the universities. They have been themselves mentioning that, hey, we would be interesting of thinking, could we do some remote, some of our tests that people come into a classroom and they write, could we actually do this remotely and use the video there as a kind of a method for controlling who is actually doing the test. So building some integrations might be helpful there. But we are also looking at the whole candidate recruitment and hiring flow, because like I said, interviewing and video interviewing is only one piece of that bigger funnel, and we're thinking about that. There are some integrations already existing, and we're building integrations into various candidate tracking systems that some of the larger companies and agencies use. So if you are managing that process in another tool, we are building our integrations into those tools, so you don't need to, you can take the candidate through the whole process to using whatever tool is the relevant for you as a recruiter. But we're also thinking about that many times quite at the same stage. If you think of a hiring funnel, you're having different kind of aptitude tests or skill tests or these kind of things. So we will be looking into, should we integrate with one of these companies as a part of the wider offering to serve the needs of recruiters even better. And that's something we are going to be looking into quite a lot, because there is opportunities for us to develop this more holistically. But our core will definitely be video interviews.
okay, so the idea is to be able to integrate with other systems that as recruiters are using to be able to be a part of the more holistic process, right?
Correct, correct, correct.
So, in your eyes, what do you think that in which direction do you think that labor market would change in this new context? And in which direction do you think that the labor market and the hiring processes, as they were done previously, the COVID, are going to be held?
That's an interesting question. I think I'm most familiar with kind of the technology industry where I worked myself in, but of course I do have some insights into the other industries as well. But if you think from a technology industry point of view, at least here in Northern Europe, and to what I understood in the rest of Europe as well, and even US, for if you think of a developer or a good data scientist or a kind of a high level professional in one of these technology areas, it has been a lot of it's been a kind of a it's been an applicant's market. So it's been hard for us as recruiters. In my previous job at Finnair, we built a 100-person digital team there. Sometimes it is really hard to find very good candidates. I think that has been, at least here in Finland, we're seeing that changing a bit due to the fact that some of the companies and some industries, especially travel, hospitality, some of the restaurant sector, are not doing that well. And then the companies that are serving these industries, like digital agencies and so forth, as a consequence of their customer industries not doing that well, their own industries are potentially not doing that well. So it has shifted, and there's clear opportunities at the moment for industries that require good digital talent to actually, if they have an opportunity to hire, I think there's a good opportunity now to find good talent, and there is more mobile talent out there than perhaps half a year ago, or at least you have more opportunities to find people. That's at least how it's happening here in Finland. So we as a company, for example, we have identified some. We are a small company, but we are a tech company, a growing tech company. So we are actually going to be active in recruiting over the next few months. We need more technology talent to develop the tool itself. And I know, for example, banks here in Finland that have gone very digital over the recent years are very active in the market hiring for data scientists, developers, and other digital professionals.
So what you're saying is that probably in the near future will be more talent, good talent available?
At least in technology side of things. It of course depends a lot, depending on the industry and so forth. But at least what I see in technology and IT, there is people are changing quite a lot at the moment. So there is talent available at the moment. But yes, because you can't meet people. So you need to be having a very good online recruitment process, because otherwise you're not able to capitalize on talent.
Okay, so you think that there is talent available? The thing is how to find it.
Exactly.
Better.
Exactly. So, for example, I personally didn't meet, even though everybody who was involved in my recruitment process are here in Helsinki, so within 10 kilometers from where I live, I didn't personally meet anybody from the company face to face before I signed the contract. So, not any of the board members, any of the employees. We did everything over video.
So the hiring process end to end was
Yeah.
held remotely.
Yep. Even the contract signing happened over digitally.
Okay.
So.
Okay, and if you add to that the opportunity now to work remotely, that a lot of companies are thinking about that, you have companies working with talent around the world, doing their hiring processes and working remotely, maybe getting together once a month or once a quarter together in a country, they decide. But I agree with you that the talent is there. The thing is, you will not, because in Barcelona, I usually work with IT companies too, and we have a lot of problems with visas, working visas, and all that. That it's that restricts our search to Barcelona area. And usually also the candidates right now, when we call them, they're saying, well, I realized I went to my home country, my home city, that it's Sevilla, and I realized that I want to stay here, but keep on working for Barcelona. So it's like I want to work remotely. So I'm thinking, if we are hiring people from Spain, why we are not able to hire people from Latin America? And we don't have the visas problems and all that. So right now, I think it's a push between candidates and IT, especially IT, that they were asking, demanding working remotely. They were from a lot of time now wanting to work remotely. And now that it's done, they're saying, we are efficient, we are able to work remotely. I don't know if all day, every day, but we are able to do it. So there's no excuse to say no to work remotely. So I think it's both sides. I think the candidates are not everyone, because working remotely is not for everyone. No. We just realized that too.
And there are certain tasks and things that I haven't yet seen happening very well when you're not in the same room with people. This is when you try to be, for example, more creative and say, for example, I was describing us as a company. We are looking into how should we develop a product going further. This typically requires you to have the right people in the same room, and you have a bit of a whiteboard or a post-it exercise on the wall, and making that same kind of creativity and kind of unstructured thinking happening remotely. It's a bit hard, and I've worked remotely myself for a lot of time, having been at Google in a small unit spread across 8 countries and so forth. But the day-to-day happening, that's fine. But when you need to be more unstructured, more creative. So once in a while, I do agree with you. You need to get the people together. And then there are some people who actually thrive on the physical interaction, and working remotely is not the perfect thing for them. But I think every employer need to be more flexible on that side of things.
Yes, yes. So yeah, I think that that we have to be more digital, more remote,
Mm-hmm.
and to be able to adapt to this new reality that what's moving forward towards this direction. Only thing that COVID make it faster, but it was already moving towards this direction, working remotely, having hiring processes more remotely. Also, to time, because candidates are working usually and they want to do after work the interviews. And for you as a recruiter, it's hard for everyone to be able in your schedule, in your 9 to 5 time. So that's also on both sides. It's a win-win situation. So
Mm-hmm.
I think this was moving in this direction, but I think this is like, okay, we can work remotely. We should do more things remotely to be efficient. And I think a tool like RecRight is very useful to help have it remotely, but still close and very um, human. Because when you're seeing, you are able to watch a video of the candidate. It's more similar to have a real in-person interview than looking to a resume. So it's a very interesting solution that it's remote but very human and gives you a lot of idea, more idea of the candidate profile. And I think it's a very good tool to incorporate in the hiring processes right now, and especially if you're able to generate interactions, interfaces with the tracking systems that you're already using. It's great to add this tool in the whole process, and it will save you a lot of time, right?
Exactly, and we actually have a free now because of the kind of interest that is in the market for our product. We have instituted, there's a free trial for 14 days. So if anybody's interested, just head over to RecRight.com to claim the trial, and you can see how the tool itself works. It's very easy to use and kind of tries to be very self-explanatory.
Perfect. So we will add the link of
Mm-hmm.
the your webpage and to the 40-day trial for everybody to be able to try it. I think it's a very good idea, and especially in this context for everybody to be able to try it. Uh, and well, thank you very much for your time. It was very fun.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. It's been very nice to join you for a discussion.
Thank you. So, everybody, if you have any questions, we are going to add the link of RecRight and Jussi in the comments below. And if you have any questions, let us know in the comments. So, thank you very much again, and see you next time. Bye bye.